Hi, welcome to the Collectible Show. My name is LaPedis. I'm your host tonight. Every week, we have an expert talk about a brand new collectible. It could be an old collectible, it could be a new collectible. Tonight, we're talking about American currency. We have Gary Farnsworth with All Seas Collectibles with us tonight in Aurora, Colorado. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Aaron.
I like to tell you that currency is so fascinating to talk about, and I felt very lucky to bring you on the show. Could you tell me when currency started in the U.S.?
It started during the Civil War because we had such a shortage of coins at the time. We needed it for commerce. People were hoarding the coins because they were afraid the economy was going to not provide them security anymore. So we had to come up with something to alleviate the shortage of coins.
So they would just print them. You told me something very fascinating about it, that in the printing of it, that was it the treasurer that actually signed every one of the bills?
Back there, at that time, yes, they had to actually physically sign each note. Both the North and the South were signing their own notes at the time. Well,
that's great. I like to go to one of our cameras to show you one of the bills that actually got hand signed by the treasurer, and that means every single one of them, not one of their secretaries, not one of their runners. It was actually the treasurer.
Yes, it was a very tedious job, and they had to do it themselves. They couldn't use a stamp like they do today. They had to actually physically sign it with a pen.
That's amazing. They really worked for their money.
Yes, they did. It was a very hard job.
We have one in here that's a lot smaller than I think a lot of people our age are used to.
Well, everybody identifies size with the amount. And so these notes are actually fractional currencies. They're less than $1 value. These were issued during the Civil War to help alleviate the coinage shortage that was going on at the time. So a lot of merchants would take those instead of coinage so they could actually sell their goods. The large notes that you're seeing there are called horse blankets because they were so large.
Why did they make these bigger? Because these are now bigger than the ones we use today. Why did they feel that the greater amount size was better?
Yeah, well, they associated size with value. People said, well, you know, we want to see something that's large so that we can actually say that's worth $10 or $20 because it's large.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the different colors. Why did they use yellow in this $20 bill?
Well, the yellow is used because that's actually a gold note. If you look at the note, you'll see it's in gold coin at the bottom underneath Washington there. And you could actually take that note into a bank and they would give you a $20 gold piece in exchange for that note. And so people would actually use the currency because they know they could exchange it for something they knew was worth something like the gold or silver coins.
And what year do we have that this was being done at?
Those were made in the 1920s.
Okay. If I have one of these, not saying I'm going to do this, but if I had a $20 gold note and decided that I don't trust my government, God forbid, that I wanted to take this $20 gold note in, would I get $20 gold piece?
No, they stopped redeeming those back in the 50s, and they're no longer redeemable as a gold coin, but they're still worth $20. You can take it to the store and spend it at the grocery store for $20.
Are there any proof dollars that are only made for show and collectible?
Yes, they call them Specimen Dollars. They actually print those out at the beginning of the run to actually see what the note's going to look like. They would cut them to size and pass them out to people, dignitaries, who would actually look at the note and see if they liked the note, the design, and if it would be usable in commerce.
And those, the value compared from an uncirculated note to a proof note, what would be the difference in price?
Well, the specimen notes are extremely rare, and most of them are in museums like the A&A down in Colorado Springs. They have a wonderful selection that you can actually look at and view them and see what the notes look like before they were actually made for circulation.
All right, we have specimen notes, and I like to look at the two $5 bills. Tell me, one is blue and one is red. Tell me what that signifies.
Well, actually, those are made at different periods of time. The blue note is actually collected as a blue note, the seal itself, and the red note is actually collected as a red seal note.
What about an uncut sheet? And I don't know if you can get this, but would that have a true value?
Yes, now you can actually buy those from the Federal Reserve. They do sell them in ones and twos, dollar denominations. They're collectible. I actually have some in my store that people can see.
And with this, I'd like to thank you, Gary Farnsworth with All Seas Collectible in Aurora, Colorado. Thank you very much for being on the show. Once again, thank you for viewing us tonight. And remember, not everybody's trash. is trash, but one person's collectible. Keep on collecting. I'm Aaron LaPedis. Thanks for watching tonight.